Hello, you're watching Otyrar News. I'm Tina Kudaibergen, and today we will discuss the following. Unpacking the President's address. Boosting digital inclusion. Platform X was banned in Brazil. For the first time since Nazi era, far-right party won in local elections in Germany. The new political season in Kazakhstan traditionally begins with the president's address. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev outlined the main directions for the country's development in the coming years. The focus is on reforms aimed at building a just and prosperous Kazakhstan. In his address, the head of state spoke about key achievements, upcoming tasks, and the challenges ahead. More on this in Diana Idris' report.
President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev began his address by congratulating the deputies on the start of the new session and reminded them of the importance of continuing work to strengthen the country's political and economic stability. Over the past 5 years, Kazakhstan has undergone major reforms that have dramatically changed the political system and public consciousness. The creation of a just Kazakhstan, according to the president, fully meets the expectations of the people.
В нашем обществе должен царить закон и порядок.
In our society, law and order must prevail. This is the basic condition for ensuring both public and individual safety. Only in this way can we create a just, clean, and safe Kazakhstan. To achieve this strategic goal, we need to create favorable external conditions for the peaceful, sustainable development of the country.
One of the key topics of the address was economic growth. The president noted that despite global challenges, Kazakhstan has managed to slow down inflation and achieve growth in the manufacturing sector. However, according to the head of state, it is important not to stop there and to start a new investment cycle that will help raise citizens' incomes.
We are regularly sponsored. We open lines that work and expand. For example, we opened a clothing production line in the industrial zone and took out a loan, sponsored through the Business Roadmap program. This was back in 2020. Yes, we took the loan, opened the line is working, we are still operating, developing, buying equipment all through Damu. So, in this regard, the support from Damu is very good. And I think many people say there is no support. There is.
Tokayev also focused on the social sphere, especially the protection of children and the fight against social inequality. One of the important initiatives was the introduction of payments to children from the National Fund, as well as strengthening the responsibility for violence against minors. These measures are aimed at creating a safe and just environment for every citizen.
These payments will be a big support for our family. It will help us provide a better future for our children.
In addition, the president emphasized the importance of maintaining environmental balance and implementing advanced technologies in this area. One of the priorities in energy development, according to him, should be the construction of a nuclear power plant, with a referendum on its construction already scheduled for October 6. A telephone survey conducted by the Kazakhstan Institute for Strategic Studies in August gathered opinions from 1,200 respondents aged 18 and over from 17 regions and the cities of Astana, Almaty and Shymkent. The results show that the most support the idea of building a nuclear power plant in Kazakhstan, mainly due to expectations that it will solve the country's projected electricity shortage by 2030. However, 32.5% of respondents are against the project, primarily due to concerns about potential accidents and environmental risks. Meanwhile, 14.4% of respondents remain undecided, while 51% believe they have enough information to vote in the referendum on this issue. A significant portion of respondents admit they only have partial information or not at all. Regarding participation in a potential referendum, 42.6% are determined to vote, with another 16.4% likely to participate. President Tokayev's address has become an important guide for all Kazakh citizens. Achieving the set goals will require not only the efforts of government bodies, but also the active participation of every citizen. Only together can we make our country truly just and developed.
These are the main points of the President's address. How these initiatives will be implemented will be seen over time. We will be watching their developments. Thank you for watching.
The Ministry of Digital Development aims to address the task set by the President to advance digitalization and increase IT service exports to $1 billion by 2026. Recently, the first Asia-Pacific Conference on Digital Inclusion and Transformation, organized by the Ministry in cooperation with UN ESCAP, kicked off in Astana. Key figures in digital development, along with representatives of IT companies and startups, are participating. The opening ceremony featured speeches by Kazakhstan's Prime Minister Olzhas Bektenov and UN Deputy Secretary General Armida Salsiya Alice Jahbana. The conference is focused on developing digital economies, bridging the digital divide, and strengthening regional cooperation. Several agreements are expected to be signed during the conference, including a collaboration plan with Amazon Cooper, a satellite internet service similar to Starlink. Minister of Digital Development Jaslan Madiyev noted that this partnership would enhance the competition in satellite internet sector and improve service quality. Amazon Cooper plans to deploy over 3,200 satellites by the end of 2024. Twitter has been banned in Brazil after Elon Musk closed the company's office in the country and failed to appoint a new legal representative. The Brazilian Supreme Court issued an order to suspend Twitter's operations, according to BBC and Brazilian outlet Otyrar. By the morning of Saturday, August 31st, many users reported problems accessing the platform. The ban came as a result of Elon Musk's repeated refusal to comply with Brazilian authorities' demands, including appointing a new representative after closing the office. Additionally, Twitter was fined 18 million reais of not removing accounts that violated Brazilian laws. The court also ordered the freezing of bank accounts of related companies, including Starlink Brazil Holding and Starlink Brazil Services, the Internet. Authorities are also planning to find users who attempt to access Twitter using VPNs. The far right celebrates a historic victory in local elections in Germany, the first since the Nazi era. According to preliminary results in the Thuringen state parliament elections, the far-right party AfD won with 32.8% of the votes, surpassing the CDU, which received 23.6%. This is the first far-right victory in local elections in Germany since the Nazi regime. However, these results do not guarantee the AfD will be able to lead the local government, as other parties, including the CDU, have expressed unwillingness to cooperate with the far-right. To form a ruling coalition, the Conservatives will need support from leftist parties. The AfD holds 32 out of 88 seats in the Thuringen parliament, which gives it a blocking minority on issues requiring a two-thirds majority. In neighboring Saxony, the AfD garnered 30.6% of the votes, trailing behind the CDU, which received 31.9%. The new party BSW, the Alliance of Sahra Wagenknecht, known for its radical positions on Ukraine and immigration, came in third in both states. Well, my colleague Yerasil Kuralbek will provide more details about the situation in Germany and how the European Union is addressing the complex migrant crisis in his analysis.
In 2015, almost all of Europe faced one of the largest migration crises since the World War II. People were literally rushing from the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia to Europe. All of this to escape conflicts, persecutions, and economic hardships in the home countries. In fact, the situation was truly dire. In 2024, Europeans finally resigned themselves to such migration reforms, which led to widespread peaceful protests against migrants and the entire migration policy. Initial grievances eventually turned into violent clashes and riots. The situation was critical in France and Germany. After the riots, there were casualties. For example, in France, refugee centers were attacked and the uninvited guests were not welcomed in Germany either. I would like to point out that the world's media has repeatedly reported that on May 12th of 2024, the European Union completed key reforms to migration regulations, despite the protests from Poland and Hungary. These changes promise to radically transform the EU's approach to managing migration flows and facilitate refugee integration. The main feature of the reform is the creation of solidarity mechanism, a system of mutual assistance aimed at redistributing individuals seeking protection, as well as those who have illegally arrived by sea or land across the European Union. Our expert Gerard Jr. assures that real changes will take time.
So I think in general, the new refugee agreement is a step in the right direction. Of course, it will take time to see whether the new agreement actually works. However, it's positive that a new dynamic is emerging on this issue. And for a long time, little or nothing was done. And in addition, existing law, for example, the Dublin Agreement, has been overridden. From this perspective, it can be said that the new agreement has now increased the legal certainty again. And I think it's we have to wait to evaluate the results. But in general, I think it's a more or less good agreement.
If previous migration crisis reforms did not help Europe, what makes this reform unique? Are there any specific aspects that could truly assist migrants? For example, the solidarity mechanism.
I think a mandatory solidarity mechanism is necessary so that some countries do not take in many more people than others. However, I wonder how the European Union intends to oblige individual countries to take in people if these countries do not want to. There will be penalties, of course, money penalties, but we can no longer speak of a solidarity mechanism as some countries will refuse to show solidarity. It would be better to achieve a genuine unity within the European Union. But it's, as I said, it's very complicated to find a compromise. So from this perspective, I would say the mandatory solidarity mechanism is necessary.
It was previously mentioned that the struggle with migrants continues from the moment they arrive in Europe. Some EU countries resist the refugee relocation process, although experience shows that this method is, to say the least, not always effective. Is there a chance that this time the relocation process will be more successful?
Necessary to conclude agreements with the countries of origin. Otherwise, repatriation or relocation is not possible. it's difficult for me to judge from the outset whether the European Union will actually manage to expel, to bring back 30,000 people. But I think this figure is very high. So in the end, I'm not convinced that the European Union will relocate 30,000 people. But yeah, if you can solve the problem with the origin countries to make contracts with them, then could be possible.
In any assembly, there are those who don't always agree with the chief commanders. In the context of this reform, there are key critics who defend national values and territorial interests. Surprisingly, these countries have been accused of xenophobia for the constructive stance.
From my point of view, I would say that Poland and Hungary want to protect their labor markets. Also, we saw in the past that Poland has problem with economic problems because of the refugees of the Ukraine, especially with the farmers. The farmers couldn't sell their products because the products of Ukraine are way more cheap. But for Hungary in particular, I think they want to retain the greatest possible sovereignty with regard to migration. So they don't want that the European Union can control regarding migration Hungary. So Hungary want to save his sovereignty. And also I can imagine that Poland, I mean, we have a new chief of the new chancellor in Poland, so maybe they will change their opinion. We have Donald Tusk now, and he is more left. So I expect that Poland will change his position in the future.
Migration reform in one country can negatively impact neighboring states. It's like a shock wave. We are all aware of the time when migrants from neighboring Russia surged into Kazakhstan. At the same time, Kazakhstan's stance on this is positive. Kazakhstan is a hospitable country, and Kazakh people will provide help to everyone, but under one condition: mutual respect must be upheld.
The charity fund Heart of Otyrar continues its activities. This time, the Otyrar Good Samaritans team held a concert for the residents of a retirement home. The heroes of the celebration received gifts, songs, lunch, and dancing. My colleague will continue. Music for the Soul, the charity fund Otyrar Жүрегі continues its work. This time, the fund organized a real concert for the residents of a nursing home. As it is known, love knows no age. The nursing home is no exception. Here, elderly people meet, take care of their loved ones, and get married. Another wedding is coming up soon. The groom is over 70 and the bride is 67. From Otyrar Жүрегі, not only the newlyweds, but everyone receives gifts, and of course, they are dancing.
I am glad to see you today. I am glad that you are with us today. I wish you even more health and longevity. Don't get sick.
For the celebrants today, not only are the songs, but the channel staff and friends have prepared a vibrant festive program. Journalists, cameramen, and technical staff are performing as artists. The impressions speak for themselves.
Thanks. We like it so much. So many emotions. The concert is just amazing. The gifts are wonderful.
After the celebration, a festive lunch. The charity fund is based at Otyrar TV channel. Its mission is to assist those in need, and correspondents will report more about this in the future. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Have a nice weekend. Bye.